right, thank you very much, everybody. This is the Air Affordable Housing Committee. And I need to go ahead and state the following. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from requirements that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as the measures are taken to
How can I turn this off?
ensure public access to the body's deliberation through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For Zoom meeting information related to remote participation, please contact Cindy Knox, IT Director at CKnox@Ayer MAUS, or call 978-772-8252, or Lisa Hershey, Community Development Program Manager at ahershey@ayer.ma.us, or call 978-772-8221 prior to the meeting. I'm Janet Providakis, Chair of the committee, and we have with us Karen.
Karen Swanfelt, Council on Aging.
Ken,
And Ken Diskin, citizen.
right? We also have our town hall representative, Alicia. And it looks as if we've got Ron Morrison trying to log in. All right. So again, when we go ahead and make a motion, I'd like you to state your name, as well as when seconded, state your name. And when we do roll call, we need to state our names as well. So thank you, everybody, for showing up. I'm glad this is remote, so we don't have to worry about the storm that just hit it yesterday. It was quite something. So I do appreciate it. I've called the meeting to order right at 10 o'clock, I believed. I don't remember, I started right into the text. So has everybody had a chance? Hi, Ron. You're on mute. All right. Well, okay. And so I just want to make sure that everybody had a chance to look at the meeting and at the agenda and approved the agenda as written. Any corrections, admissions, additions from everybody?
I think it looks great.
Okay, can I hear motion to accept it?
I'll make a motion, Karen Swanfelt, to accept the agenda as written.
Second, Ron Morrison.
All right, Ron, thank you very much.
Hi, Ron.
All right, all in favor? Ken,
Aye.
Karen,
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Chair says aye, so it's been accepted. Excellent. All right, has everybody reviewed the minutes of the meeting? Our prior meeting? Any corrections or admissions?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. That sounds
Good
good.
to me.
All right. So can I hear a motion to accept it?
So moved.
All right.
Karen Swanfelt, second.
All right. All in favor, Ron?
Aye.
Karen?
Aye.
Aye.
Ken, good. All right, accepted. Excellent. All right, next item is public comment and questions. Alicia, have you received any type of email from the public? You need to unmute.
I'm on a different computer. I'm having a little trouble. Sorry about that, guys. No, I haven't heard anything from the public at all. How about you?
No, I have not. So if there's anybody online or if anybody is reviewing this and does have any type of questions, please give us a call. I gave the phone numbers earlier for Alicia or myself, Janet Providakis at ayer.ma.us. I know the last name is sort of tricky. It's Greek to me too. So if you want to, you can give a call to Alicia at 978-772-8221 and have any questions, and we'll be able to review it during this time in the agenda. Again, for those individuals who really would like to see a 7 o'clock meeting, during our meeting last month, we went ahead and stated that maybe on a quarterly basis, as we start progressing further in getting all the housing trust, the bylaws and such, to get feedback from the public, we will go ahead and have some evening meetings so that we're able to keep the public informed for those who, again, want those evening meetings. So I just wanted to cover that. All right, next on the agenda, we do have the housing trust bylaws. I'd like to, I sent the committee the feedback that we received from town council with all their comments and such, as well as the revised edition, which has been, I'm going to say, taking all the town council's corrections and reducing it to another, it's only a 7-page document. I'm going to see, I'm just going to ask the team, has everybody had a chance to review it? And are there any major concerns? I mean, we're going to go through it before we, definitely send it back to Robert and the board. So I'll open it up.
I'm okay.
All right, Ron, that's good to hear.
You're gonna put it up on the screen? We're gonna go through it? Is that the idea?
Well, yeah, I was gonna go ahead and do that. What I'm gonna do, hold on, let me share.
I've got it open on a separate screen, but
It's okay.
however you want to do it.
I've got it here. And then this way here, when the public goes ahead and reviews it, they'll be able to see some of the items that the town council went ahead and edited.
Okay, now I got a problem.
What's your problem?
Well, I want to put mine up, but for some reason that when you open that, it pulled my whole screen. So I want to open mine in the background, so I have to shrink you guys up.
Okay. Oh, good. I've lost weight.
I think. Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. All right, as you can tell, when you reread this document, it was the original one that town council had that we've already edited and made some additions, sort of as the other rendition will show, that when it comes to selecting the Board of Trustees, the only thing that it does say here is that it is appointed by the select board. However, we did want to add with recommendations from the Affordable Housing Committee. So there's things in here, again, that this was an older edition that they worked on. So with that, let's see, I wonder how come it's not showing the comments over on the side. Because section 3. Here it is.
Good.
Okay. All right. They, like I say, they added certain terminology with regards to the Mass General Law, which I love because, again, they're the ones who know the law. And I don't think, I mean, I'll go through it. Section 1, the purpose, I think that is inclusive now. Again, it being reworded, I don't see any issue. Does anybody see any type of issue?
No,
Okay, and again, this was, I've taken this, but, this is the feedback that they've given. But the final document is, it's going to have all this in it, plus other stuff. So, all right, we've got the name of the trust, the Ayer Affordable Housing Trust. They removed section 2 or 3, purpose because it's already been spelled out in section 1 and in section 6. One question that I do have is this one right here. It is contrary to fair housing laws to restrict eligibility for affordable housing to residents of the town, only unless the town had demonstrated the need for local preference with DHCD. Alicia, is there anything specific that we have to do? Because again, is this trust only going to be eligible, for rental assistance or for other items? It was brought up during, the reason why I'm saying that, it was brought up during the town meeting, of if there's outside landlords, will they benefit from some of these opportunities that the housing trust can do? Again, if it's rental property, the person is living in Ayer and the rental will go to the landlord who may not be living in Ayer. We had discussed that.
Yes, it is very strict. So when we requested for the Habitat House to have one of the 2 units be local preference, we were able to do that, and then it turned out that there was no local person who wanted it, who qualified, who wanted it. Okay, there are very strict restrictions, and it is against the law to only say there are, as long as we qualify for local preference. But what they're really, what it's really doing is creating housing in Ayer. Now the housing is in Ayer for affordable, and even if the person's moving into Ayer and going into one of these units, in other words, we're not giving it to the landlord, we're giving it to the low-income person. And even though we're writing the check for the landlord, it is subsidizing the low-income person.
Right, who is living in Ayer. And and the properties that we may be assisting are all in Ayer.
And on the properties that we are insisting are all in Ayer, and that's about as far as we can go.
Okay. So when I saw that, it's like, again, we want to make sure that our final edition does state something that the properties all have to be within the Ayer borders.
Yes.
Right, and go by, the fair housing law restrictions or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I have a question on that for Alicia, just a comment. It doesn't preclude if we take it out, which we're going to do, it doesn't preclude the fact that in the future, if a project came along, that we could attempt at that point, just make, same thing you just examples of the Habitat. Let's say we had a project that had 4 units in it. Does not preclude that we could attempt to get the local preference for 2 of those units in the future by just leaving it the way it is.
It's been a while since I've done the local preference, so I don't know. We can only get a certain amount of them designated as local preference. Yes, we can, but we do have to follow the law, the state law, and I would have to go back and take a look. We did get local preference on the Habitat, and then it didn't work out. And local preference means that they make the first round or something like that.
Right. Okay.
So we give a local preference for the first round, and then if it doesn't happen, it goes to somebody else.
Right, but by taking it out here, it doesn't really affect the local preference decision in the future is what I'm getting at. So
No,
just take it out. And we still have a
follow.
chance to do it if we
Yes.
attempt to do it in the future.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Right. And then the other comment here is the trust may use trust funds to buy property from private parties. That is already in section 6 as well. So,
Raise my hand on local preference.
yes,
This is probably a really good one. This one always comes up. So if we're going forward, we might want to write up an outline of how local preference, maybe I should write up an outline on how local preference works and put it out there for a question and answer,
that sounds good.
or something like that, because this one always comes up, and you said it came up at the town meeting again too.
Right.
So sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, 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 I think that's good. So that's on your to-do list. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna move along. So now we've got section, used to be section 4, now it's section 3. They changed just some of the words where it's 7 trustees. Again, to be appointed by the select board. On our version, we do state with recommendations from the Air Affordable. Let's see, bear with me. Through recommendations from the Air Affordable Housing Committee for terms not to exceed 2 years. So again, for those who wanted to make sure that that was in there, in our version it is. They didn't include it because it was the older version that didn't have it in there. So, any comments with regards to this section?
Good.
Okay, we're moving on to section, used to be 5, now 4, the tenure of the trustees. They removed everything that had to say something about the town manager. Again, makes sense because everything is directed by the select board. So they're the ones who have the final control. And everything does have to be sworn in, signed, sealed, and delivered by the town clerk. It does not have to go through the registry of deeds.
Mhm.
Which I thought was, again, good. And again, this original document came from also the coalition's website for housing trust, as well as some of the other housing trust bylaws that are in our neighboring towns and such.
Mhm.
And also too from Mass Housing Partnership. So it's a combination of a lot of items. So with that, it goes ahead and talks about if the trustee shall die, resign, or whatever. Again, back to just only the select board needs to be notified, and they got rid of the dates, which makes sense because why put dates in a document that this is going to be ongoing? So,
I think that, can I make a quick comment? This isn't exactly the reason that we wanted to keep this document from floating around, I think. By
no, you're
having-
right.
By
Yeah.
having the town council look at it, now we see how clear it is to them that, that this was really wordy and a lot of things could be excluded. So I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. And that's why, again, I like now that we're showing it so that individuals can go ahead and see what the comments were and
Yeah.
such stuff. All right, that's
Good.
good. All right, now we're moving on to section, used to be 6, now 5, the meetings of the trust. Okay, it does not, they did not like the, at other times seem advisable because pretty much it is when the trust shall determine. So if the trustees think that it needs to have another meeting, then definitely is. They can go ahead and call by the chair of the trustees. They can call another meeting, and it just has to go through Mass General Law, open meeting laws. And one question that did get asked, with regards to this board of trustees now, being good, going to be coming to fruition. Our goal, I see that, our committee is to be the advisory committee for this board of trustees. So the board of trustees are not going to be meeting on a monthly basis. We will be giving them guidance of these are the opportunities. Here are, what the applications are and such, so that we end up being the foot soldiers of the board of trustees. Does everybody have that as, what are we all on the same page, pretty much?
It was
Yeah, I
something,
would-
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Alicia.
It was something I was hoping for because everybody on this committee has put so much time into understanding the process and understanding the issues and really educating themselves. So I feel like we'll be way ahead if we can really rely on this board.
I agree. And Ken?
Yeah, I understand that role. I think it's fine.
Okay. Karen?
So,
All right, Ron?
yes, I'm fine.
Okay, sounds great.
Dana, just to let you know, I'm keeping mine on mute because I'm at the office and we're actually working and the phone's ringing. So
Okay.
that's why I mute.
All right, but I can hear your head shake when you say yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so I think the meetings of the trust pretty much is straightforward.
I have a question on it, actually.
Please go ahead.
So this is really about language. So the very first sentence reads, the meeting, it just says meetings, doesn't say the, it says meetings of the trust shall be held not less than quarterly. So what does that exactly mean? Not less than quarterly? Does it mean you cannot meet less than every 3 months? So you have to at least be 3 months apart?
Correct.
Okay,
Well, at least, yeah, yeah,
a strange way to,
It means you have to have 4 meetings a year. And you can't let it go more than 3 months.
it means that? Why doesn't it just say that?
Well, I think not less than quarterly. So if you haven't had so you can't go, just have 2 meetings a year. You've got to at least have a meeting every quarter.
all right, you wanted to state, have a meeting every quarter?
But just to, I still don't know what not less than held not less than means.
Okay, so we can change it so that, because even the rendition,
See, to
the
me, not less than to me means that you can't have one sooner than 3 months.
Not less means that you can't have less meetings. In other words, you can have more meetings, but you can't have less meetings than once a quarter.
Okay,
So this is a legal term. So you can have more meetings but you can't have less meetings than once a quarter.
Yeah, that's what I was, that's the way I read it too.
okay, thanks. So there's a minimum of 1 meeting per quarter, basically.
correct.
Yes.
So
Okay.
if we want to, we can change it. Meetings of the trust shall meet on a quarterly basis at such time and place as the trustees shall determine. Special meetings may be called by the chair of trustees.
I think if
But
Leisha, if the
puts
Leisha understands the legal side of it, we just leave it.
That puts you in a question. Somebody could question whether you can have more than quarterly meetings. That's why they put the not less. They're leaving you open so you can have them once a month if you want, but you
Okay.
can't have anything less than at once every 3 months.
Got it. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. So we all set with that section? Okay, section former 7, now 6, the powers of the boards of trustee. Again, they went ahead and made some corrections with Mass General Law, making sure I get rid of all my capital chapters and such. Exactly what needs to happen if we, when we receive CPA monies. The other powers are, with regards to personal property. C, to sell, lease, exchange. And this is all encompassing. It's not necessarily exactly what the board's going to end up doing right at the start. This is something, again, this document, because, and to reiterate what Ken was stating, this has got to be approved by the town, at town meeting in the spring. With that, if any type of additions or edits need to happen, it has to go through the same item of having some public meetings, as well as being brought to the fall town meeting for any type of edits. So we want it to be all inclusive as possible for how this is going to grow. So when you see stuff in here, it's not something that may end up happening right at the beginning, but it's something that might occur within the 100 years that this is active. I just want to make sure people are aware of that, because as I reread it and read it, it's like, whoa, this seems like, quite a lot. But I can understand why they include everything of, of having specific leases, contracts, and such. Was there any type of question that anyone had on a section within this section? Section within it?
No,
I mean, I think it was pretty well laid out and, on how they can, how the Board of Trustee is going to be able, they're going to have to be accountable. They're going to have to make sure that it is for the benefit of Ayer residents and such. But I think it gives them, a lot of opportunity to work with properties, purchases, housing, within the town. So I think it was, like I say, pretty good. All right, I'm going to move on to then section formerly 8, now 7. All right, going ahead, legalese, making sure that a quorum of the board is present. You've got that they can exercise the powers of the Board of Trustees. They removed the items with regards to any type of third party. You can't have, signing power of attorney, given the authority to the attorney or attorney to execute documents on behalf of the trust, provided the trustees take a vote to that effect. So I think, again, they removed all that because of on how there's the checks and balances. Right. And this goes back to recommended that this item goes into the declaration of trust rather than the bylaw. The declaration of trust is a high-level document, given an overview of what is going to be included within the bylaw itself. I have not worked on the declaration of trust because I'm still waiting on some feedback from Robert. So anything else on the acts of the trustees?
Nope.
Okay, moving on to what was,
Janet,
yes.
is there a typo? Section 7, excuse me, the last sentence. No one dealing with the trustees need inquire concerning the availability of anything the trustees purport.
I don't believe that. I think I looked that up. I believe that is a legitimate word.
Mhm.
And it is an action item, this is what they are going to, I don't know, the word is proposed, but it's an action.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, I looked it up too, because it's like, oh, should it be purpose?
Those legal words.
You got it. All right, so moving on, liability. It's like neither the trustees or agents or officer of the trust shall have authority to bind the town of Ayer. This goes ahead and just, again, it's all liability issues. Amendments, this provision of the bylaw can only be amended by a vote for the Ayer town meeting. That answers your question, Ken. It's right there, right within the bylaw itself. Okay, and it says this declaration of trust is a separate document and amendments to the powers of the trust must be approved by town meeting. So with that, again, we're going to be working on a declaration of trust, but I need to get that feedback from Robert. We've got set of section 11, it's now section 10, about funding the trust. And it goes ahead that all monies remaining in the trust at the end of the fiscal year, okay, remain the trust property. It does not go back to, like, say, if CPA funds are given, we don't use that 30,000. That 30,000 still stays within the trust. It does not go back to the general fund of the CPA.
Mhm.
Okay, continuing that this trust and the board are public employees for the purposes of Mass General Law, which means that they've got to go ahead and take all the ethics courses, the conflict of interest courses, get that certificate, get sworn in by the town clerk, all that. And I think that that's pretty inclusive of what we all have had to do being volunteers on this board. Okay, section used to be 13, now 12. It's tax exempt. Again, all the legalese inside there. Formerly 14, now 13, and how the accounts shall be maintained by the town treasurer. audited on an independent auditor, which happens anyways, and the results are going to be provided to the select board. There is an item coming up that we'll go ahead and talk about. There is an annual report and such. This is just for the accounts themselves.
This is something I had a question on.
Sure.
The treasurer takes care of a number of accounts that I handle, program income, things like that. I do the bookkeeping on them. And I think that this is fine, just leaving it this way. Because she maintains the bank accounts. Is
Correct.
that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, what I can do if you want to, hold on a second. I'm going back to the final draft that we have. We do have a little more added, I'll be honest with you, on our version. Here, you know what I'm gonna do? I should have probably done this. All right, we do have more added into ours, and I'll go, when we review ours, I'll go ahead and say, the bank accounts of the trust shall be maintained by the town treasurer. The town's Office of Community and Economic Development will provide administrative support to the trust and maintain the books and records of said trust.
that sounds great.
An annual audit by an independent auditor in accordance with the, GAAP, accepted accounting practices will be required, and the results of the audit shall be provided to the select board and included in the town's annual report.
And this is actually something that I do want to talk about, because Lisa and I talk about it all the time. Some of our books we hire out for an annual audit, like IDFA and things like that. It costs about $2,000 to have an annual audit. And Lisa keeps saying, Lisa, I have an audit of all our books every year. Why are you duplicating this? And because it's written in that trust, okay? That they have to do a separate audit. It is a $2,000 bill to do a separate audit, and the town does a full audit. Like, so when we're doing a town audit, they come up and look at all my bookkeeping, even though it's kept with the treasurer's, they make sure my bookkeeping's lined up with the treasurer's bookkeeping, okay?
Yeah.
So I think that you might want to leave it in there that the trust can choose to have an independent annual audit, but they can also be part of the town's annual audit. Because it is a $2,000 bill if we do an independent one. Or maybe we leave this, let me ask Lisa if that will qualify, if the annual audit will, if that wording will qualify with the town annuals audit before we change anything, okay?
All right, yeah, because no matter what, the annual audit is still done by an independent auditor.
Right.
Okay, I mean, for the town, it's not an auditor that works for the town. It's an independent auditor. So I think we're all set with the wording.
Do you
It
think that
doesn't,
covers it so that we don't have to go out and do our own audit?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it does, so.
I'll just confirm it with Lisa and
All
then
right.
we'll leave it like that.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, I'm moving on to formerly 16, now 15, about the duration of the trust. It's going to be indefinite. It hopefully will outlast us. With that, we've got, again, termination does need a town meeting vote, which makes sense. And subject to prior approval of the select board, which sort of makes sense. I mean, no matter what, we're trying to be as transparent as possible to the town of Ayer as well as the select board, as well, with public information meetings. So I think anything that the trust is doing will be reviewed by the select board, as well as given an update to the town for public information meetings. Like I say, if we can do those like on a quarterly basis. So is there anything that people will see in the duration of the trust?
Nope.
All right, then they added section 16 about the annual report, which I thought was really good. because if, again, it goes ahead, does this on a calendar basis so
Hmm.
that it's going to be submitted to the select board as well as the town's annual report. So that includes, I know some of the questions that Sarah had of making sure that we keep this monies, how it's being used on a transparent basis. So this is what they did add. And I don't know if, what the date will be on here. This is something that we do have to get feedback from the select board.
All annual reports are due on a certain date. Now, we can find that. Karen, do
Right.
you know what that is?
We usually get hit with that memo February-ish to go to print for the annual report. So,
I have a question, Janet.
Yes,
I think earlier in the document, they changed our year to a fiscal year from a
Well-
calendar. And now they're asking for the report based on a calendar year basis.
and I think that's because
Is that
of,
the way all the annual reports are done in town?
yeah. Because if you think about it, when it goes to town meeting, everything has to be locked down by the end of these, see, I'm just trying to think. If it's got to be February, then it's got to be the December 31st date so that they can see that. I know, CPA funds don't get opened up until July 1st with the town meeting. So I think, I still think it's, this is now goes back to a calendar year, but
Okay.
I can double check. All right,
When, Karen, when you do a report, is it based on the calendar year, even though your finances are on a fiscal year? It is? Okay, forget it then.
okay. All right. So, next section is compensation of the trustees. They're not gonna get paid, all right, unless they happen to have an out of expense, pocket expense, with a receipt. Like if they were generating, some handouts or whatever and with the staples, okay? These are things that, that they can get reimbursed. But if they're putting in all the hours, no, they're volunteers. So I think that's pretty well straightforward. And they removed section title about titles. It's not necessary to put that in the bylaw. Okay, so that was the feedback again from the town. And I'm going to share. Oops. Gather the cat walked on it. EW, that was funny. Can you guys see the one that is now our draft?
Yes.
Okay, so again, what I ended up doing is I took the feedback from the board or from the town council and put in, made sure I got the correct Mass General laws, removed the sections that needed to be removed. We need to go ahead, all right, we'll just go through. I think the purpose is straightforward. The name of the trust, Board of Trustees, again, it's pretty much, I removed anything about the town manager, made sure everything was that it's the select board through recommendations of the Ayer Affordable Housing Committee with the terms. We're looking for people with experience in banking, real estate law, residential development. We do want to make the recommendation that there be a member of the Affordable Housing Committee, as well as the CPC and the Planning Board. Again, these are just recommendations. It would be good to have that type of knowledge come to the board, as well as Ayer residents who have other financial background to go ahead and help manage this board. So this, like I say, got enhanced from what the town council stated. And pretty much, go ahead.
So why did you add the town manager in there?
Some other towns had town manager. That's the reason why. And they removed it. So it's like, okay, it's because it's the select board and the town manager itself is, under the direction really of the select board. He works for them. So with that, they're the ones who have the ultimate say. But I had it from, again, other documents.
So you're basically disagreeing with what the town council came back with. then,
No,
right?
town council removed select board, removed town manager.
Oh,
I kept-
okay.
I kept it, yeah, I kept it out of there.
I think the question is, do you want the town manager to sit on the board as well as a board of select person? Or do you just want a board of select person to sit on the board? You're looking for someone in authority from the town?
It's part of the requirements that it has to be one of the executive committee members of the town. So which means that is the select board or the town manager.
Okay,
Um,
go ahead.
Okay, so Janet, I guess you stumped me here. I thought when we did the first review with the changes from the town council and whatnot in that abbreviated form, we were done. But you're going back to this one, so I thought we were done. Sorry.
No, because again, we need, how do I say it this way? We added stuff to the town councils. So I want to make sure that you know that the stuff that we added to town council is included in this draft. This is the final draft.
Okay, but it's not highlighted, the difference on this, what I'm looking at here, so.
Oh, I know, I'm sorry, I didn't go back.
Okay, so you took out the stuff that was taken out by town council, then you put back in some things that we think as a board might be more
Correct.
appropriate, I guess.
Correct, because again, the feedback was they want, individuals want the recommendation from this committee, not just the appointments by the select board and let them come up with names. All right, we want to give them names that they can either accept or deny,
Yeah, that I understand.
okay? Uh-huh,
I'm opposed to having the town manager on it. That's it.
okay, no problem. All right, hold on a second.
Why don't you just highlight that and let's have a discussion about it.
Okay, hold on. Let me just see. Okay. All right, see, the town council went ahead and did not have this. All that is removed from the town councils.
Mhm.
This is items that we had added. And because we thought that it would be good to have somebody from this committee as a board, on the board of trustees, as well as someone from the CPC. Now, if the group here doesn't feel like, maybe now we can remove that, we can remove it.
What about making at least one member of the board of trustees shall be a member of the select board and or the town manager? Or would you prefer not to have the town manager on there?
I think Ken's saying he doesn't want the town manager on there. So
Okay.
what we could do is we could just remove this.
There you go.
All right, Karen saying yes. Ken,
Yes.
Ron? I don't know, is Ron still?
Yeah,
with
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry, I was just
us? Okay.
out the window there.
I don't, that's because I'm walking by waving. No. All right, so we just got rid of it. Okay. And then this continues with the rest of what the, and again, it's a recommendation, and it's recommended that the board of trustees include a member. And I can put down and/or a member of the Ayer Planning Board. All right, so I put in this. All right. So it can be either a member of CPC or a member of the planning board or both, depending upon, the names that we come up with. Make sense?
Yes, but in essence, this is our recommendation to the Board of Selectmen, I guess is what we're saying, right?
Correct. When we, like, say, last month's meeting, we started coming up with names and everything.
Yeah, I got it.
That's the list.
But at the end of the day, the state law says it's the Board of Selectmen who makes the appointment, or the select
Correct.
board.
Correct.
Okay,
All right, on the section 4, tenure of the trustees, all the town manager and registry of deeds and everything was removed. So that's all that I have here. Okay, so all that, just everything else that just got, like I say, cleaned up. All right, now we're going to go back to the meetings of the trust. All right, again, it still has a terminology of meetings of the trust shall be held not less than quarterly at such time and places as the trustees shall determine. Special meetings may be called by the chair of the trustees. That's the cleanup that they wanted to do of, you don't have to say on how at times deemed advisable or needed and such. So it keeps it streamlined. And it's Mass General laws, open meeting laws and everything. And again, it's the fiscal year, July 1st to June 30th. We added agendas and minutes will be posted on the Town of Ayer's website. Yeah, period there. This is what we added to the town councils. They stopped it as the quorum may be, meetings shall be a majority of the trust qualified and present. We wanted to make sure that the public was aware that we will post the agendas and the minutes on the website of the, town's website, where more than likely there's going to be a category for underneath, maybe it'd be just underneath ours of the Affordable Housing Committee for the Housing Trust, unless the Board of Trustees want to have their own link itself. Go ahead, Alicia.
I think that this will be okay, but I think we're all gonna have to figure out how to get into executive session, because whenever we're
Yes.
considering that nobody's name's gonna be on agendas, nobody for people that are getting aid. I mean, if we're talking about, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, for sure. I mean, no, again, it's all going to be Zoomed and yeah, it's definitely gonna have to, if they're gonna start discussing names, it's gotta go into executive session. And that's what executive session is all about, when you
Okay.
start talking about private information like that,
Okay.
okay? So,
let me ask you a question. Do we have other trusts in town that do that, post the agendas and minutes?
Sudbury
Is it-
does, yeah, Sudbury does. I get them emailed to me.
Okay,
All right, and I think Groton does. They go ahead and they post it on their website.
But does the CPC trust, is the CPC a trust? No, it's a committee.
CPC is a committee.
so
Okay.
I'm speaking specifically, I'm all on board with what Alicia said. I'm glad she said it first. I'm very concerned with the privacy issue of discussions, and I'm not sure we need to post agendas and minutes for a trust.
Can you just highlight that and let us question that?
Sure,
Because
sure.
It's really just that's placed on it.
Because a lot of what they're gonna talk about is gonna be stuff that's gonna, everything from talking early on about a developer that's coming in and, or, habitat stuff that's coming in or anything like that. I mean, it's gonna just, and I'm really transparent, but
Okay. Understood. Like I say, I'll go ahead and I'll see what gets posted I looked, but on top of my head, I'll see what gets posted at some of our neighboring towns and see on how they encapsulate that type of private information. Okay, they may say, they
And
may
I
say, okay, yeah, because like I said, they may say we discussed applications. Bang, that's it. You know, not going further into it.
We may be forced to do it if we're complying with open meeting law, so we may be stuck with it no matter what, but I'd question it, I guess. Thank you.
Okay, all right, we got it for being questioned, no problem. The powers of the boards of trustees, I kept everything that they, like I say, it's just the Mass General Law and making sure it was cleaner. And then also too, got rid of the capital Cs where it was not needed. Chapter 40, or yeah, up here. What is it? They had to be capital Cs. Never mind. I had little Cs, and I had to capitalize them. So all the chapters here got, capital C. And pretty much all this is still the same. I did not edit anything on that because it's too,
You folks,
that was way too much.
sort of menu. if you will.
Why did you spell check a uninvested? What is that? Does it require a hyphen or something?
I gather so.
Kind of weird.
But they do have, in the legal document, from the town council, it's uninvested.
Same thing. It's a good word. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was a good word, so I have no idea why it doesn't like it. Okay, and I think because of the and being here and a period here, I probably should do this. That would get rid of that other. And this one here is because it ends with a period for being the grammatical
Mhm.
issue. Acts of the trustee got reduced big time. And it just said that provided that the quorum of the board is present, the majority of the trustees may exercise. All this is verbatim from the edit that the town council did. And they needed to capitalize the estate. And anything paid or upon the order of trustees, that's where they ended. So that's all from the town council. Liability got, reduced just to the one line. Amendments, this here, I did not need to correct that to capital T. Funding the trust. I think, yeah, that's what the town council has.
We're good. Just got the spirit now, the sesquicentennial.
Um,
I don't know what you're doing, right?
the public entity of the town. A lot was changed just because of the Mass General Law, making sure that it was verbatim for that. Being tax exempt. This is what the town had. Here, the accounts. This is where, again, we added this. All right, Alicia, what you were talking about. Okay, the town's Office of Community and Economic Development will provide the administrative support for the trust or to the trust and maintain books and records of said trust. Okay, and then the results of the audit shall be provided to the select board and included in the town's annual report. Okay. And procurement, again, they cleaned up the Mass General Law. Duration of the trust. Cleaned out that it does not have to go to the Registry of Deeds and Land of Registration Office. And termination of the trust. Kept all that with regards to being town meeting. And they added subject to the prior approval of the select board. So which means it has the checks and balances of the select board. So that's what we picked up there. The annual report, okay, again. The annual report is going to select by, you get insert a date here. And pretty much that is the new text that was added. I just did it verbatim. Compensation of the trustees. I also did, yes, Alicia.
I was wondering if we could put in date to be provided by town manager's office.
Sure.
Why can't we just put a date in there ourselves?
I don't know what February what is. Karen, yeah,
Flips around, that's why I'm saying,
It goes between, excuse me, Cindy, we have a template that we all have to follow that you, as you see in the report, you can't even read it, it's tiny. But it's all based around budget meetings, and I would stick with the date to be provided by the town manager, and we'll follow everybody because they all have to be done at the same time. Just my suggestion.
mhm. All right, so I put date to be provided by town manager office. All right, because more than likely it's going to come from Carly. All right. And then compensation of the trustees. Pretty much verbatim of what it is verbatim for what town council stated, and remove the rest of the item of titles. That's it. Anything else? Let me go ahead, file. I want to do save as, and I'm going to put this in as number 5. Well, hold on. I got so many windows here. I don't know what you see on the screen.
your system.
Okay. All right, so I saved it as 7. All right, so we are all set on that. I will send this back out to you all. And I think we did a great job, guys. Thank you very much. I know that, that was,
Painful.
I heard that.
I thought I was muted.
It's not the root canal that people thought it was going to be. So I do appreciate your patience and everything. So I think that works out really good.
I thought it was a nice piece of work. Thank you, Janet. Excellent.
You're welcome. Again, it's a teamwork effort. So now I just have to get the declaration of trust with Robert and get that and such. So thank you. All right. Interested parties about the boards of trustees. We started giving out a little bit of names last time around. I know that, just to give you a heads up, I think I discussed it the last time, CPA requires a grant agreement with regards to the funding that CPA does for the housing trust. But that grant agreement needs to be signed by the board of trustees and needs to have a bylaw. So I made it aware to the CPC that we really, it's almost like everything's going to have to happen right after the Springtown meeting. When the bylaw gets approved, the board of trustees gets announced, and then this agreement can go ahead and be signed. So with that, again, we're going to need the list of board of trustees, and hopefully the select board can give us their thumbs up to 7 individuals in town, possibly 2 alternates that can go ahead and help out. So forgive me, I don't have the full list of who we discussed last month. Pardon?
You have anyone new?
No, I don't. No one came.
Do I?
Ken, Ron, Karen, do you have anybody in addition to the names that we floated around last month?
Not as of yet.
No, I don't either.
People are,
We're gonna have, I have a couple ideas. I'd rather not broadcast them because I'd rather, I guess here's my question, Janet, do you expect us individually to reach out to people? Is that what your expectation is?
Yes.
Okay,
And the reason behind it is like, again, we know a little bit more of what it's going to entail and such. And I keep, when I'm talking to people, I keep telling them it's going to be, meeting on a quarterly basis. It'll be guided by, this committee. Quite possibly it may end up being another meeting that you have to go to that the chair thinks because of all of these applications coming in, are going to need, additional meeting. But more than likely, it's certainly not going to be like the planning board or conservation committee, where you guys meet twice a month. All right, it's not going to be that, and right, that being that a lot. I don't know. So with that, I think I just keep reiterating to individuals, it's more of finding a way to give back to the community to make sure that we keep it as diversified as possible. Because again, this is our home. So yeah, if you guys can talk to individuals, again, what we're looking for, review it again through the bylaws, but it would be nice to have somebody who is concerned about, again, air housing and keeping it diverse.
So
what about Steve? Steve had to resign from this board. Wetzel, but would he be a candidate for the trust?
He should be. And I'll reach out again to him. I know right now he's busy getting Mitchie's place in order.
Oh, Alicia has it.
Yep.
So, I think that one of the things you should think about is really talk to Steve if he's gonna have too much on his plate, because he really struggled getting here. Not that I don't think he would be good, that's why we originally asked for him, but we need people who are gonna show up too. So, when I was in the housing authority over in Groton, whenever we had an empty spot, we sent everybody out and said, see if you can just find one person that might be interested. So over the holidays and things like that, just rack your brains for one person that you can approach. And if you have more than one, great. But at least one that you think is somebody that is very thoughtful and can really take on this responsibility. And I'll do the same here from people that I know, but I tend to reach out to the people that I know that are already involved. You guys might know some people that aren't involved, but are really high quality and can do a good job.
Agreed.
Pat here in the office might be, I'll see if I can get her interested. It's a possibility.
I was gonna ask that, Ron. With you on one, could Pat do the other one? Because I think she'd be great.
Yeah, obviously she'd be one of the real estate people.
Yeah, I think that would be, is talk to her.
I will.
All right, that sounds great. All right, so moving on. Any update on the housing production plan?
Yes. So a little frustrated on this because I sent it off in the summer to MRPC and they have not looked at it yet. But I have asked them to present the final draft at the January meeting. So we have a date and I will be sending off a note. It's really very close to being done. And if worst comes to worst, then we'll just, Alan and I'll get it done in the office, but hopefully MRPC. So he said, yes, he would meet us at, I guess I shouldn't say that all that out loud. I should have just said it more politically correct. We will bring it to the board in January.
Okay. No, that sounds good. Thank you. And anything for housing development updates?
Yes, we're talking to NOAA, and NOAA's the group that is working on the flag property. And Alan and I and Mark Archibald had a meeting with a representative from CDAC. They're going for a grant to do development planning from CDAC. And I went and took a look at NOAA, and I've got a screenshot of their website. They are probably the biggest nonprofit developer in the state. and they do very, very high quality developments. And they started out in Boston, but now they're reaching out to other centers, transit centers. They just built something in Carlisle. So I'm gonna send you my screenshot, but you can go to their website. They're really exciting. They don't only build low to moderate income rental housing. They also run programs for the people that go into those rental housing, you know, to get them back on their feet, to get them jobs, to do also just training programs. They're really very, very sophisticated nonprofit.
Yeah, that's good because I know that with the housing authority, when you get individuals who start earning an income and everything, all of a sudden now they are told they can't live there anymore. You know, where it would be nice to have some sort of scale where it's like, okay, great, instead of, you know, living there 30%, now it's 40%, now it's 50%, you know, of what you have to pay in. So it would be nice that they've got those additional programs to assist people to help them find jobs and such. I like that.
So the thing that I would like, CDAC was calling us to find out how friendly the town was for this 40B. Now, NOAA is a really big organization. Well, I say it's a big organization. It's also, it might be a little bit foreign to our community. When you look at the buildings they've built beautiful complexes. Okay. And so I would like, I'll send out an email as soon as we're done with this. And do you want to sit down?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll send out an email as soon as I'm done with this, with the link that I have. But I want everybody to get familiar with it because Alan and I gave them a really big song and dance about how friendly we were to this. This is, but I think that this team here needs to really get ready for when the 40B comes forward. We're ready to go with it. This will get us to our 10%. This will get our, if we can build this housing, they have everything from very low income housing to moderate income housing. It's all rental. It will take all those people, if they want to come out of the motels, we'll be able to put them over there. So it's a real positive thing, but it might be a little scary for people because it looks like a big complex.
Scale of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think we just, well, which will be part of their process, just to do really a lot of good community engagement, you know, and to really get folks comfortable, understand how, you know, Fitchburg Road is, you know, could really begin to transform itself into a very livable corridor out there. Oh, we got to, yeah, but so anyway, yeah, we just really need to make sure everyone understands what's happening here and everyone has an opportunity, you know, to comment on it and to frankly help it to really make sure we get it right for Ayer, that it's the right fit.
Okay. Well, you're going to probably, I mean, Alan, you normally do some sort of public information meeting and everything. So I think that will be good because then that way the public will hear what the plans are and move forward. So I think that's
Maybe
good.
in springtime, hopefully, we can even go out and do a walking tour on Fitchburg Road and really look at it out there. That'll be exciting again to do that. Wow.
I like that. You got it. All right.
So I have one more thing, but it can come under discussion, but the
right.
housing development thing. So we're hearing from NOAA, we're hearing from CDAC, and
Waiting for
it's,
CDBG fire.
and they do have purchase and sales. We're still waiting on the fire station. We still have not heard back from CDBG. But so
Yes,
all that's
Can't
where
quite hear that. A little louder, please.
we still haven't heard back on the CDBG for the fire station.
Historic fire station.
They're way behind. We usually hear on that grant in July and we still have not heard.
Is this the grant that was, I thought there was a national grant involved as well, like a federal grant. Is
That's
this
the
one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
CDC, C,
It's a community development block grant.
okay, we're familiar with that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's the provision that they filed under, or you
Yes.
guys filed under.
Yes. Yes.
So it's interesting because, this keeps getting delayed before the planning board. And we keep being told it's going to be brought up at the next meeting, but it doesn't get brought up. So I think Mr. Benoit's time to push this thing around and figure out what's going on here.
And I'll tell you, Mr. Diskin, I am ready because I'm getting concerned that if we do get the grant, one of the requirements is it has to be all permitted or ready to go. They could pull back on it saying, this thing's supposed to be permitted,
Why aren't they getting it permitted then?
So,
They applied on February 25th, February 25th of 2020
thank you.
is when the site plan came in.
Yeah, so thank you, and I will take that incentive and start inserting myself into the process in a nice way.
Thank you.
So, sorry, I'm just writing notes.
That's okay, no problem. We're running close, we're running over 11, so.
Only one other thing I wanted to add, which we can put it under discussion. I just sent you guys all an email on from MHP newsletter, and 2 towns have added a rental assistance program, and we're starting to see the eviction process going on. Actually, I'd love to hear from Ron about whether he's seeing anything in evictions, but let me just finish this. Groton and Needham have added a rental assistance program, and there's a write-up in that newsletter. Groton took 200,000 of their CPA funds.
Yeah.
And did a rental assistance program, and Needham did a combination. They did 120,000 of CPA funds, and then they put in some of the COVID-19, the community block grant, CV grant, which I was under the impression we couldn't use because they had put it in the RAFT program, the rental assistance program. But I actually need to call Needham because they actually took 50,000 of that block grant and was able to, we put it at the soup kitchens, we've put it in a number of different places. We gave some to Karen, but there might be some revolving funds there. So this is where we really do need to get the trust together to look at what we could do, because I'm hearing of people who really need this rental assistance. How about you, Ron?
Yeah, I agree. What we're seeing now is a glut of rentals because of the prices. The prices have gone beyond the ability of anyone that normally comes to rent in Ayer to afford. And so they're starting to back up. We could put, we have almost 8 rentals available where we've been averaging 1 or 2 a month. We're up to 8. So, and they're not being rented on a regular, on a quick basis. It's taking, well, we've shown one rental 222 times and have not found anybody who qualifies for the rental amount.
Wow.
So
we've lowered the rents somewhat. They went so high. There's a 1-bedroom on the market for, it's not our listing, but there's 1 bedroom on the market for $2,100.
In Ayer.
In Ayer, yeah.
Yeah, in Ayer, yeah.
Right.
Well, we didn't take the listing, obviously, but another broker from out of town did. Our rentals now are averaging, the 2 bedrooms are now averaging about 1,800.
Wow.
And the 1 bedrooms, when they're available, are 1,000 minimum. There's one on the market for 1,200. Again, it's not our listing. There's 2 listings outside of our company in town right now. One's 2,100, the other one's 1,200. They're both well overpriced, for the market, not to mention the ability of the people who are here to rent. So, I think the committee that's going to make the decisions on where the money goes is going to be pretty busy unless something changes.
So that's actually a really interesting thing. When will the rents start going down?
They'll go down when the landlords don't want to leave them vacant any longer.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we had 5 rentals on Pleasant Street available within 3 houses of each other. And now there are, I believe, three remaining, but that was 45 days ago.
Mhm.
Can I ask you a
Let's-
question, Ron?
Yeah.
And I think this is particular to the question about the flag property and if that's apartments. If quality units come to the market, won't that displace some of the older houses that people are squeezing into now? Those
Yeah, I
other
would,
ones?
yeah, I would think so,
They'll,
yeah.
they'll seek the quality, the new, the insulated, the stuff that's high efficiency and built under current codes. And that could drop the market for
Right.
those units which have been nothing else available type stuff.
Right, right. Yeah, that's true. That should happen that way. Plus, don't forget, you have, a large amount of potential rentals coming on the market. They're not built yet, but in the center itself.
Right. Yeah, but that's always a long time. for
It's a
those.
ways out there, yeah.
That's
So that's
actually,
another incentive for us as a committee to encourage the 40. I'm trying to think of a way to get to the friendly side of the friendly 40B. And by having, a competition, it's going to help potentially all renters in town.
Yeah, I would think so. The one thing I would think that somebody better think of ahead of time, if they're building out on 2A, is how do you get those people transportation?
Yeah. So
Uh,
that'll be part, I'm sure they'll have that in their scheme. If they're that savvy, they've looked at that.
Hopefully,
so they're talking about using the regional shuttle on that and they were asking about sidewalks.
Yeah.
Whether the town was ready to support sidewalks there and possibly put in, those were the questions. They wanted to know if the town was willing to put up some help such as sidewalks and what did we have for shuttles. And we said, we've got the Devon's Regional Shuttle, which does go to the shop and
It
say,
goes right to the supermarket, and with this type of development, it will escalate the ridership. It gives a type of concentrated
Right.
ridership opportunity there, so it'll actually help the shuttle be able to do even more routes.
one of the things, when you think about what the governor's trying to do, it's not just housing low to moderate income, but we have the highest rentals in the country right now. We're in the top 3, and in some areas we're in the top 1%. We're the top 1% of the cost for rentals. But he just wants to increase stock so that he can maintain people for jobs, so that people don't choose. They come and get educated here and then they leave because they can't afford to be here. So just an increase of stock of housing really helps everything. And, the landlords are still going to make plenty of money. They just, are going to have to be a little bit more affordable.
Mhm.
of course, one of the things when you raise the prices on rents, you also raise the value of the building. And we're seeing that happen as well. And once someone purchases a 2-family or a 3-family in the 350 to 400,000 range, which is where they are now, your rents, you can't bring your rents down very easily because you have to pay your mortgages.
Yeah.
So it's a real balance. It's always been a balancing act, and I'm sure it will work itself out.
Mhm.
Can I ask Alan a question that's a little different, but it's applicable to that area out on Fitchburg Road? When you talk to a developer like this, and you just mentioned the sidewalks, which I think we're all going to think about no matter what. Is this the time, I've asked this before to our planning board and the town planner, is this the time we reach out to the regional authority and find out, what their programs about improvements to infrastructure and how they fund those programs and coordinate with them? It's a MRPC, I forget what it is exactly, the regional authority that's out of Fitchburg, and get them involved so we can get their funding or their engineering or their, what do they call the outreach, the planning and part of it for free, like they did for the housing inventory and the housing plan and They've done it for open space development and those kinds of things. Get them in on the deal so we can get that. Maybe they're the ones that pay for the sidewalks or the state. There's so many programs.
Well, yeah, Ken, if I could respond, that's exactly it. And yeah, we could, do a district local technical assistance
There you
grant.
go. That's what I'm looking for.
That's just studying this stuff. But Ken, the main point is what you just brought up. It's called the TIP, the Transportation Improvement Program,
Right.
which is all the federal money that goes to the regional planning to build. But we got to be at the table every month at the MRPC fighting and advocating because everyone's there fighting for a piece of that pie.
I thought that was you.
No, that's your town planner. That's whose name is on the plaque. It's supposed to be there every month fighting.
Maybe I haven't found another volunteer opportunity.
Yeah, but that's the tip. And then you have the MPO, the Metropolitan.
Okay.
Right, but those are the two things. Well, we have a seat at that table. Tens of millions of dollars come every year, and it's all you got to sit there. And it's like a big game of who's going to fight the hardest for their piece. And if we're not at the table, you get nothing.
Okay, so that's the point that's out there, and
It should be right
it
there.
helps us think in that term as well. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Now, we were lucky. We got the MassWorks grant for out on West Air Road, West Main Street. So we'll take care of it there, but we got to fight for that tip money and the MPO money. It's
Okay, thank you.
supposed to be getting it, yes.
And this is good to know. It's like, oh, what do you got? So I think we definitely got a lot on our plate and such. Going back to what the rental assistance, the emergency rental assistance from Groton. Groton is using the Metro West Collaborative Development to go ahead, and they're going to be administrating it. So they are looking at a third party instead of the Groton Housing Trust. So I found that was, something that other people have brought up before, working with another committee or another group. So I wanted to make sure people were aware of that. All right, I know we're coming close. Like I say, we're 20 minutes over our time. Anything else we need to cover? We've got an upcoming meeting on January 22nd at 10 o'clock in the morning. I know that there is a CHAPA, C-H-A-P-A session about housing trusts at 10 o'clock that day. So hopefully they can tape it and such. But that's,
Change that date then?
yeah, it's not the 21st, it's the 22nd now. And it's at 10, it's from 10 a.m. to 12.
So do you want to do the meeting a week before or a week after?
Do you want to go to the CHAPA meeting?
Well, possibly.
Um,
Or do you want to just review it because it will be taped?
Yeah, I'm going to say, let's see if it's going to be taped.
So
And-
we'll leave it at the 22nd and we'll confirm.
Correct.
Participate, help us with grants, showing that they participate.
All right. All right. So right now, as it stands, January 22nd is our next meeting at 10 o'clock. Anything else anybody want to bring up? No. All right. Can I
Oh,
entertain?
do
a
we have to take, in the draft that we just do we have to take a motion to approve that draft? Or how do you want to do that?
Well,
No? Still
Well, no.
working on it?
yeah, let's hold off until January. I want to send out that final draft to you
Okay.
all for you to review. And I'd rather have that happen. And then, because again, it's going to be the holidays and such. Whether or not they're going to be able to review it, when I send it to the town manager and the council, who knows? But this way here, we get signed, sealed, and delivered. Something that we really stand by. So I'm going to say let's hold off until January. People agree?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Sounds great. All right. So the motion to adjourn the meeting? It's the Polar Express. I can hear it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Karen Swanfeld.
Okay.
Second.
All right, Ken,
Yes.
you got it. All in favor? Aye.
I
Aye, me echoes. All right, guys, have a very good holiday season. Stay safe, stay warm. I like that, Alan.